One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. Then let me be free.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart steel and a spirit unbroken, he rides on two wheels ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow, he takes his step, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Rituals report he pays his way. More legend in the making, day by day.
Wow, wow, wow. Ladies and gentlemen, we have all made it magically, somehow, some way. We made it to Monday morning. Great to see everybody. Listen, I have a poll in the chat going on. It says, L Monday, but WIDWF. So listen, make sure you guys let us know that we are winning out of the year, no matter what day of the week it is. Besides that, we have a very interesting morning for you guys. As you guys know, Trump has been out on his Asia tour, and so far he's only been to Japan yet. I think he got there this morning, and he has not gone to South Korea yet. I have double-checked that fact to make sure that maybe did that happen under the radar yesterday or the day before or something like that. But we have all the lineup for us. Anyways, so the way that I have this labeled is Trump in Tokyo for trade. Then we have Hurricane Melissa and the updates regarding that, because I'm sure that some of you guys have been following Hurricane Melissa. And then we have U.S. Navy helicopter and fighter jet crash. We have that unfortunate footage as well. And I haven't actually seen any of it, but I did see it this morning, essentially floating around the mainstream media, but I didn't actually watch any of it. So the way that I have this lineup for this morning is yesterday there was a big report about Lincoln University. 1 dead, 6 injured after a mass shooting. Now, I know that this is terrible, but these are things that unfortunately have been, I guess, people are getting numb to. But this happened over there near Philadelphia. It turned deadly Saturday night after gunfire erupted at an event on campus. The shooting killed 1 person and injured 6 others, according to investigators. So yeah, we're going to dive in on that on the very first story. Then we're going to give you guys Hurricane Melissa intensifies as it heads towards Jamaica. I'm sure that some of you guys saw what was happening to Jamaica yesterday. They were like literally in the storm. So we have that update. We also have U.S. Navy helicopter and fighter jet crash in South China Sea. And this gained a humongous amount of attention around the world. I can already tell just off of this one video. Usually, something on Live Now for Fox or whatever comes out, maybe it'll get 20,000 views, 15,000. And sometimes if it's really, really popular, somewhere from 150,000 to 200,000 views. This one already has garnished 1.1 million. Which is a lot for them. Then we have Mamdi, I think I'm saying that, Mamdani, joins AOC and Bernie Sanders for New York is not for sale rally. I guess that happened yesterday, and we have some of that update. Democrat nominee for New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani, which I'm guessing is some sort of Indian. I don't know. Nonetheless, we definitely have that as well. Japan's emperor greets President Trump, and that happened this morning 4 hours ago. And Trump in Tokyo for second stop on Asia tour. So I guess he has stopped one other place in Asia, but it's not South Korea yet. And that's really what I care about, is when he goes to South Korea, sits down with Xi Jinping over there from China. And that will be one of the main things I'm focusing on this week. So that will be happening this week. And then we have Newark flights delayed amid shutdown, which I'm sure that we all basically saw coming. All right, before we get into the whole thing, make sure you guys hit that like button. It helps out the show immensely, and it's free to do so. If you guys are brand new to the show, hit that subscribe button because it's also free. But let's get the money part over. Please consider becoming a member, starting only at $2.99 a month, making sure we're not breaking the bank out there with anybody, but check it out. This is what allows us to keep the lights on and be on the airwaves, is 100% due to you guys becoming members and staying members, man. So thank you. Little side note here, follow my Instagram at BallValveTV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only my life, but as well as the show. Millennial Food Time, breaking news. Great way to get a hold of me one-on-one, everybody. So make sure you guys join up over there. And also, we have a Discord server for all of you guys in the IWF. Make sure you guys join up. We have the majority of you guys in there, but I definitely want to get the last couple of percentage of you guys over there, because if anything were to ever happen to our YouTube channel here, let's just say the powers that be were like, hey, we're taking him down and he no longer has a YouTube channel. Not even just demonetized. He's gone. All right, so what happens if I'm gone? You know, just deleted. Now no one knows where the fuck I'm at. No one knows where my new account's going to be. Well, see, if anything were to ever happen, guess what? I'd let you guys know in Discord. Hey, this is my new channel. Go over there, or whatever the case is. You know, I'm just saying. So please consider joining the Discord server. And last but not least, all super chats, super stickers, gifted membership signups are, of course, going to be presented live onto the show and shouted out. But if you guys would like to skip your, 30% brutal cut that these guys take from our hard-earned cash, well, then we have these platforms right here that you guys can donate to. And, of course, I'll read them out loud like a super chat. Just like a super chat, I have my email up. And speaking of, I had Brother Lee Lance from the chat that donated $5 to the Cash App Saturday morning, which is our members only. Now, I'm never actually looking at my phone like I do Monday through Friday for donations and scanning donations, because I actually expect not to get anything on Saturdays, because that's my one day to be able to give back to you guys. So I'm not scanning for donations, and I actually tell you guys, do not donate. But Brotherly Lance did donate $5, and I missed it, and I felt terrible. So I let him know in the Discord that I felt terrible about that. But hey, I always appreciate you making it rain, with the dues and all that. I very much appreciate it. All right, good morning to everybody. We got Gary in the building, as well as Glare, 1%er, Sick Bastard, Naomi, good morning to you guys. Frank, we got chatting with Stacks in the building, as well as Rabbit of Chaos. Good morning to you guys. We've got Miss Lotus as well. Great to see you guys in the chat, man. We got Mountain Woman in here as well. Steve Posey, my man saying, morning Mike Ball and Breakfast Club. Absolutely. Newark Airport sucks anyways these days. Delays are normal, just an excuse now. I totally understand what you're saying. They've always sucked, probably have always been delayed in some sort of facet, but now they have a really good excuse to use. But yes, Naomi, let's go ahead and just do it now so we don't have to do it at all later. Let's just get it over with.
All right, just get the money part done.
Give me money. Money me. Money now. Me a money needing a lot now.
All right, now we're good. We're good for sure. And you know what's not good though is my camera keeps lagging a little bit. So let's go ahead and bring this up, and we're gonna go ahead and start this and reset my camera.
His family has been notified.
This is of the mass shooting that happened over there in Lincoln University in Philly.
Other gunshot wound victims in this case. That number has not changed since we spoke last night. One of the gunshot victims is a current student at Lincoln University. One is an alum. The rest of their affiliation is not direct with the university at this time. All of those victims are expected to survive. They all are in the same age range, 20 to 25 years old. We're not going to give individual updates about their status, but again, I'm going to reiterate, those 6 gunshot victims are all currently expected to survive. I'm also going to confirm...
This guy's speaking oddly slow. Maybe he's nervous or something, but I have him on 1.25. So I'm actually going to speed him up to 1.5.
what we said last night, that we have one person in custody who's charged with carrying a concealed firearm. His name was Zacchaeus Morgan Thompson. We'll get you the spelling of the name later.
So he had a concealed firearm, which is going to be most likely a pistol.
He's been charged with carrying a concealed firearm without a license, and he is currently being held at Chester County Prison on $25,000 cash bail. I cannot confirm, however, right now at this time, whether or not the gun that was found...
$25,000 cash bail? Bro, so I got to come up with $2,500 to get out? Are you serious? That's nothing. $2,500 to get the fuck out for bail. Are you serious?
...on him was used in the shooting.
After a mass shooting, not even just like an internal beef, because at least when there's a beef between like gangs, organizations, whatever, it's kind of mutual, you know, both sides are mutually involved. They both are consenting to this shit. But when you go out to the public and you hurt random innocent people, that's when it's like you're a danger to society. You're a danger to other civilians. So how are we giving this guy cash bail of $25,000? That $2,500 is a drop in the bucket to get out.
Further things to do before we can confirm or deny that. I want to then shift now and update you on where we are in the investigation. So investigators now are operating under the strong belief that there were multiple shooters at this event. We are also going to reiterate what we said last night, right? That we're operating under the belief that the shooter or shooters in this case did not come here with a specific design to cause a mass casualty event. We believe they have operated differently.
What are you talking about? Why are people already assuming this? Why is this guy already assuming this? Like he came here with good intentions. He wasn't going to hurt anybody, and then all of a sudden he did. Okay, well, where's the evidence to show that? I hate when people start talking like that, and well, I haven't given him the opportunity yet to present the evidence of that, but I highly doubt that he's going to have any evidence for it.
And so we're treating this as a shooting that broke out in the middle.
Yeah, see, why? Why are you treating it that way? What makes you make that decision? That's what us would like to know. This is the problem in our fucking system. It's not just on a political landscape of, mayors and governors and stuff like this. But this does go down to corrupt DA agents, or DA, corrupt DA, I mean, not agents, and the corrupt judges as well. This is a big problem in the United States.
Of homecoming weekend. The other thing I want to update you on is what the team has been doing today. This is still a large and very active crime scene. And so when the sun came up...
Man, if you got to put up your house for collateral on $2,500, you may want to rethink your life choices. Yeah, and we got Josephus saying, do YouTube things. Absolutely appreciate you. Hopefully you're enjoying the morning as well. We got Crazy Mama in the chat, by the way, saying, yo, Mike wanted to swing by and show support. That is freaking awesome. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning so far. I definitely know that we are over here.
We kept working using that extra light. We brought in K9 units to help us search. We're doing grid searches with the FBI as we speak of the entire area to make sure we pick up every piece of evidence we can to be able to further the evidence and further our prosecutions in this case. The other thing that we've done is we continue to...
I'm really already shocked at how he is already determining that this is not, planned or something like that, that he came there with some sort of good intentions to be, a part of this thing or whatever the case is, and then pulls a gun and then kills one person and injures 6 others in a mass shooting event. And it's not gang related. It's not organizational related. It's not any of those things. So then he goes, yeah, this guy's, showed up with good intentions.
Interviews. We can continue to review video evidence. We continue to gather video evidence. And I want to thank the public who has reached out to us.
See, it's one thing if that's actually true, but you have to be able to present that actually be true, not you just saying it.
It's on social media or through the FBI and has provided us videos. These videos are going to help us track down the people that did this. And I'm calling on everyone. If you have a video of this event, even if you think and you're not sure whether it shows something, please, you can call 1-800.
Oh my goodness, they're going to the public already. That's not a good sign. When you're going to the public, that's usually people's last resorts for the, big, 3-letter, 4-letter agencies, even police and stuff like that. When they go to the public, that's their last resort, essentially. Like, hey, give this number a call. We'll give you guys, $500,000 reward, $10,000 reward, $50,000 reward, whatever. If you actually have a call that leads to the arrest, and you're the information that got that to happen. So, but I find this whole thing ironic. I would love for this to be true, that the guy showed up in great intentions and all this, whatever, and then defended himself or whatever the case is. But you have to show that. This guy just attempted to kill 7 people. And then you give this guy cash bail. That's insane.
Call FBI. They will give you a link, and you can upload that video directly to the FBI.
I'd be out that same day.
So that we can review it. Stitching together videos is going to be a key part of this investigation.
That's not good.
We are in this for the long haul, and we're going to make sure that this campus is absolutely safe, and that the people who came onto this campus and decided to ruin...
People like you don't allow there to be safety in a campus. That's the sad reality. People like you, that guy right there. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and move on. Now that you guys do know that happened yesterday over there in Philly, you guys, at least have that information. Now we're going to turn our attention over to Hurricane Melissa. It intensifies and headed towards Jamaica yesterday, and I have that footage for us, and I was watching on social media a little bit about it going right over, essentially, Jamaica, which is not good. This is not a good situation for anybody down there.
I do want to bring in Mike Boylan with Mike's weather page, who has been keeping a very close eye on this storm. Always great to have you on Live Now from Fox, Mike.
And we're just going to get a good update from this. We're not going to play this whole segment, but I definitely do want to have, where we presented this so that everyone's aware that this is happening.
Yes, thanks for having me. And yeah, we're looking at it. I don't think, we don't see this very often, and especially that area. Cat 5 possibly landing hurricane. It's just, all the adjectives that you hear in the news, unfortunately, they're true. It's going to be catastrophic, devastating, biblical. Hopefully not, but it looks like it's going to be one, that we're going to have to be dealing with for a long time after.
It's time.
And one of the unique factors of this particular storm, which is why we're talking about, potentially catastrophic, is that it's moving very slowly. When it comes to, a lot of times we hear about the wind, but the wind is only part of a hurricane. We're also talking about the amount of rainfall. Can you talk about how that and the slow moving nature of the storm really could...
Yo, real quick, we got Tiffany Lance, by the way. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning. Great to see you in the chat. And also, if you scroll to the very beginning after this show, I gave on the top of the morning, I gave a special shout out to Lee Lance because he sent in a special $5 donation on members only, which I did miss, but I did make sure I called it out this morning.
Create some terrible conditions.
Yeah, all we really have to go on is history. We all remember Harvey in Texas dumping.
Well, it looks like it is going up. It's going to go up. I can't really tell its projection yet, and maybe it will tell us in here somewhere. But let me go ahead and look up what the current projection is, not from this old report, because theoretically this is from yesterday. So let me go ahead and see what the current projection is while this plays for a second.
40+ inches of rain. That's still in the forecast for Melissa. And you magnify the mountains, what we saw with Helene and the Carolinas. It makes things so much worse because it just creates this flash flooding, mudslides, landslides. So, you look at history and in the past what it's done to places like Haiti and Dominican Republic. And I don't recall seeing this much rain because, like you mentioned, it's such a slow moving system. Looking back at history, they had Beryl, kind of skirted last year, and it wasn't a direct hit.
Okay, so I do have the current right now. Let me go ahead and see if this will allow me to play this. One sec. Let me see if it'll let me play it before I even share the screen. It looks like it's going to let me. I just got to let it do an ad. So let me go ahead and shift our attention to exactly that. Let me go ahead and share this screen here. Give me a second. And we've got it here. All right. So this is this ad will be done in 20 seconds or whatever. But here's what, at least as of 11 a.m. Today, this is what the projection is. But we're going to see a video of this real quick. Let me bring this up. We should be getting right there right now. Perfect.
Missions out there, NOAA and the
terrible fucking, let's get it to 1080p.
Air Force, both flying.
It didn't change at all.
So let's get into this. We've got 2 missions out there, NOAA and the Air Force, both flying concurrent missions. We see this a lot, but look at what they found with the pressure. This is the 8 a.m. advisory, 9:13. So it's down another 4 millibars from where it was at the 5 a.m. advisory. Still developing. 160-mile-an-hour winds, so the wind potentially could catch up to this, and we
Man, that's a lot of pressure.
could even have stronger winds. 135 miles to the southwest of Kingston. If you watch the loop, it has not traded its westward movement for any northern one at this point, but at some point it does start to make the turn and then get slingshot.
That's right,
if you
Salty
will,
Badger. Good morning, by the way.
Cuba, across the Bahamas, across the Turks and Caicos, and up toward Bermuda as we kind of round out the week. But then
Hit the
you see
like
the
button.
planes coming in. Again, of course, the NOAA plane leaving Lakeland, the Air Force reservists down there in Curacao, they're moving northwest. But you can see the drop, and this is exactly what you would expect from a very, very well-developed hurricane. All right, that huge wind core in the wall, and then it drops down to nothing when you get inside this thing. Plenty to talk about here.
We got SST up in the building. Shout out to you. Hopefully you're enjoying your Monday morning so far. We are getting the latest update on Hurricane Melissa and its projection, how Jamaica's looking, how all of that area is looking, actually.
For many, many places.
It's almost
again,
over.
as we go through the morning, showers, thunderstorms, heavier rain coming into Kingston. The good news is they've shut down anything coming in and out of Jamaica right now.
Man.
But as we get
So all these areas are getting smoked, but the advisory is up to 160 mile per hour winds at a Hurricane Cat 5.
into tonight, here it comes. You see the stronger winds to the south. By the time tomorrow morning rolls around, we're in this thing. And in some cases, potentially in the teeth. Look at black.
So tomorrow, it's looking like Jamaica's really going to get smoked. I mean, it jumps all the way up to 125 plus in certain areas of Jamaica.
125 mile an hour plus.
Look at this as the eye essentially goes right over.
That's where that's going to be. 30 miles east of that
Wow.
center. That's where we're going to find the strongest winds.
That's terrible.
And Montego Bay could even gust to 100 miles an hour from the north. With the storm center that could go to your west.
Okay, so just so you guys know, so the projection of this, of where it's going, this is where the hurricane is currently in this area down here, actually. Yep. And it's projected to go up the coast of and out, luckily towards the east, which is fantastic that it's not coming to the west at all. But it looks like it's going to go out from the bottom east, the southeast of the United States and go up the coast, which is great. That is good for us, All right, let's go ahead and move into the next story. Another humongous story that happened yesterday, something that I still have not watched. So we're going to find this out together. But this is a humongous story that went extremely viral in the mainstream. And we're going to talk about it right here, right now. So let me go ahead and pop this up. This is U.S. Navy helicopter and fighter jet crash in South China Sea. Terrible.
We have some breaking news on a developing story out of the South China Sea.
Why is it so low?
A U.S. Navy helicopter and a fighter jet have crashed in separate incidents. And I want to put this up here.
That's awesome, Crazy Mama.
From Fox News talking about this, that U.S. Navy helicopter and a fighter jet from the aircraft carrier, the USS Nimitz, crashed separately, only 30 minutes apart in the South China Sea, according to a statement from the U.S. Pacific Fleet. And that is this statement as October 26th.
Man, I wish this was a little bit louder. I'm going to try to crank it on my side on the board, but I just won't play any sound effects because both of them, it'll bring up the volume of the stream of the video, but it brings up the volume of my sound deck as well. So let's go ahead and bring that up.
2025 at approximately 2:45 p.m. local time, a U.S. Navy Seahawk helicopter assigned to the Battle Cats of Helicopter Maritime Strike Squadron 73 went down in the waters of the South China Sea while conducting routine operations. They go on to say, from the aircraft carrier U.S. Nimitz, search and rescue assets assigned to the Carrier Strike Group 11 safely recovered all 3 crew members following the incident. Separately, at 3:15 p.m., a Super Hornet fighter assigned to the Fighting Redcocks, it also of a strike Fighter Squadron 22 also went down in the waters of the South China Sea while conducting routine operations from Nimitz. Both crew members successfully ejected and were safely recovered by search and rescue assets assigned to that Carrier Strike Group 11. They go on to say all personnel involved are safe and in stable condition, and the cause of both incidents is currently under investigation. And obviously, developing story, breaking news, they're out of the South China Sea as we are following it very closely here on Live Now from Fox.
Yeah, this is tragic.
These two separate incidents happening just roughly 30 minutes apart. The U.S.
Wow, so they were not a part of the same incident. There were 2 separate incidences that happened within 30 minutes of each other. Wow.
fleet said all
No way.
service members involved in those crashes safe and accounted for at this time. The Navy is not
Wow,
releasing
no
any additional
deaths.
information about weather conditions, possible mechanical issues, or nature of the training missions being conducted.
Yeah, but both things happen at, I mean, there's got to be some negligence here. There has to be. Human error input.
At the time of the crash. Of course, the U.S. Nimitz, the Navy's oldest active aircraft carrier, deployed to the Indo-Pacific region as part of the Carrier Strike Group 11, which routinely conducts freedom of navigation, maritime security operations in the South China Sea. Waters that have become increasingly contested amid rising tensions between the U.S. and China. And also notable that President Trump is overseas. He was in Malaysia over the weekend.
Okay, so he was in Malaysia first, and now he's, over there in Tokyo now. And so that's his second stop. So I didn't know, I actually didn't know that he went to Malaysia first. I knew that there was one prior stop, but I didn't know exactly where. So Malaysia makes sense.
Soon to be heading to South Korea. He will be meeting with the Chinese.
That's the South Korea thing is not happening today. That's going to be happening later on this week. He has a couple of stops that he's planning on doing over there in Asia. And anyways, let's go ahead and bring it back to our national level here. We have a very interesting thing that happened yesterday, over the weekend, Sunday, whatever. These fucking Democrats, they have these rallies all the time. So anyways, nonetheless, they have a New York is not for sale rally, and that happened yesterday. And Mamdani joins AOC and Bernie Sanders for the rally itself. So let's go and bring this up, see what we're going to see here, and let's listen to some crazy-ass cope. We're not going to listen to the whole thing. This is a very long segment here, so we're going to skip around and shit like that, listen to a couple of things, and then we're going to get right back into basically Japan. We're going to go back into international news. So let's go ahead and find this out together.
I can't hear you, New York City. We can do better than that.
Oh, that voice. What a shrill woman. What a shrill woman, bro. She's brutal.
It is so good to be home.
What's up, Mount High? Look at all these Indians back here. They're all, with their hijabs and all this shit, whatever. They're towelheads, right? I mean, that's what they are, right?
And it is especially
Got to make a political statement here. Here's the invasion, by the way. And you guys, people laugh at this shit. Well, they're not in Congress. They're not in this. They're not in that. They're not in, politics. Well, here they fucking come. And you guys are allowing this shit to happen. I mean, I look at you as just as bad as the radical spread of Islam.
great to be gathering with you all tonight in Queens, New York, the world's borough.
I can't stand this woman. Please just get to it.
And all of that makes us a fascist worst nightmare.
Oh my goodness.
Queens, we gather here today at both a perilous moment for our country and on the precipice of hope for our city.
Man, this is so gay.
Why are you gay?
Because in 9 short days, we will work our hearts out to elect Zohran Kwame Mamdani as the next mayor of the great city of New York.
No, please no.
And it is going to take all of us. But to be honest, it always has. That we are all here in this moment, during this time, is not a coincidence.
Dude, how do people fall for this shit and actually like, yeah, what she said. Yeah, yeah. How? This is all bullshit, bro.
A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit?
Can't help it.
And it is also not a coincidence that the very forces that Zohran is up against in this race
Zohran
mirrors what we are up against nationally. Both an authoritarian, criminal presidency fueled by corruption and bigotry, and an ascendant right-wing extremist movement. and an insufficient, eroded, bygone political establishment, this time in the form of Andrew Cuomo, whose pursuit of power has blinded them from what that power is supposed to be used for in the first place, which is to aid and put the working people of America and New York City first. And
Cap.
Stop the cap.
You want to go ahead and put illegals. You want to go ahead and put all of this in front of your state, in front of your people. You're protecting people that break the law. And now you want to infiltrate our government with this shit. It's so this is how it works. This is how this happens. Listen, we need to band together and not allow shit like this to happen. This is the exact shit that fucking over there in Europe, especially in the UK, fucking, they're wishing that they would have prevented all this shit 10, 15 years ago. But yet, it's too late. You know what I mean? They're infiltrated. They're fucked. They're fucked. And everybody knows it. So now it's our job to prevent shit like this from happening.
Queens, both of these challenges are fueled and funded by the same billionaire class whose apparent greatest fear
That's right, Brother Slim.
is an equitable, affordable, and prosperous nation and city for all, not just the very few.
I believe it, Mountain Woman.
We have been here before as a city and a country, and we have won before, and we will win again on November 4th.
Uh-oh. Naomi's yelling at everybody. Listen, if she's yelling at you guys, says the like button needs to be corrected, you guys got to hit that like button. You guys don't have to like the craziness around the world or even here nationally with these idiots right here that we're presenting right now. But you guys can like it from me and my takes and my work and what we do over here. So I very much appreciate all your laborious work there.
Because, Queens, it has always been in our nation's darkest chapters that our brightest lights emerge. And we, each and every one of us, whether we like it or not, are living history today. From our nation's beginning,
Very, very gay history.
American democracy has always reflected the struggle between humanity's highest and lowest natures, between subjects and citizens, the Confederacy and the Union, freedom and bondage, labor and capital rights and regimes. And it is no different.
I'll go ahead and give you the answer, Blair. Inflation. Well, that's not all of it, but yeah, you know.
Today, the struggle of our time today is the single most unjust concentration of wealth in the hands of the very few, unseen in our nation's history.
Mountain Woman, I got it for you. I got the perfect one for her.
You are gay.
Yep. Confirmed.
History and the world's history. And it is a time such as this, in which demanding what should be considered the most basic tenets of human dignity, that is considered a radical and outlandish act. It is a time such as today, when demanding affordable housing is considered a radical and outlandish act.
No, it's not. It's not radical to not. Of course, wanting property to be where we could afford it, of course we would want that. Same thing with renters and stuff like that. But the price of everything is going up. So what's affordable is subjective, okay? And it goes by time period as well. I mean, look at our dollar and purchasing power that it has now. You got to understand, fucking, it's not just, oh, we want to fucking fuck over the tenant. We want to fuck over or whatever. Dude, do you know how much more expensive shit is? You know, like, that's why, unfortunately, people that do have money, they're the ones that have more of an understanding of how economics work. Unfortunately, the left has always done a very good job of bringing in these ignorant and arrogant people on an economic level especially, and they smother it up with a whole bunch of emotions and sell it as a package.
We can afford our lives, our groceries.
What's
our
up, Brother
transit
Hardwire? Good morning.
is considered an outlandish and radical act. That we accept our neighbor as ourselves, a radical and outlandish act. But we must remember, in a time such as this, we are not the crazy ones, New York City. We are not the outlandish ones, New York City. They want us to think we are crazy. We are sane. To demand an affordable and decent housing, a decent wage, the right to health care, that we pay to care for our people instead of the flattening of Palestinians and oppressed people abroad is not a radical act.
This chick is playing so much emotional warfare right here. And she's doing a good job at it. She's getting a rise on her side, you know. Oh, yeah.
It's basic and core humanity. That is what...
And honestly, if I were ever in opposition, I guess, to my own position, I would use exactly what she used there, because all they have is emotions. They don't have any type of logic or facts behind them. They run it all off of what they feel of a situation and not actually knowing what is actually happening, right? But she actually does know what's happening, but she's selling it as a package. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, these left politicians, especially, they do know, and they're playing dumb. They sell it. That's their job.
The election of Zohran is as important as our cause today. Childcare, buses, rent, and our rights. Here in New York City, it is the jewel and the center of all that is possible in America. And on November 4th, we will prove that today. We will prove it to the world, and we will prove it to the nation.
That's all cap, by the way. All cap. So this is a great, nice little political speech that she's put together, and to go ahead and get a rise out of everybody, of course. And she did a very good job at it. But I really want to hear about this election. That's really what I want to hear about. I really don't want to hear more about what she feels. So let's go ahead and let's just, we've heard enough of her ramblings over here. So let's go ahead and hear what Bernie Sanders has to say about this. Come on.
For sending Alexandria to the U.S. Congress.
Jesus Christ. This is not good. Let me go and bring that back.
And let me thank the people of New York for sending Alexandria to the U.S. Congress.
No, that's a super L take. Bernie sucks and we all know it, but
not only one
damn.
of the great members of Congress, she is inspiring working people and young people all across the country.
She's inspiring because she is the radical left.
New York. Now, everybody knows that a New York City mayor's race attracts a lot of attention.
Why is it so low?
That's not new. It's the largest city in the country. You got 8 million people. Everybody is interested in what happens here. But this mayor's race, my friends, is different.
That's funny, Mountain Woman.
It is not just the folks here in New York City who are paying attention. It's not just people all across our country who are watching this race. It is not just the president.
He sounded like this for the last 40 years, Naomi.
of the United States who seems to be very, very concerned about who wins this election. The truth is that people all over the world are paying attention to what will happen here a week from Tuesday. Now, why is that? Why has this campaign created such an unbelievable amount of interest? Literally, all.
Because we're having the fucking invasion happening right now. That's why, Bernie, and you know that, just like how AOC knows that. That's why there's some interest in this.
All over the world. And the answer is obvious. These are not normal times. This is not a normal election. This election takes place at a moment in American history when we have a...
Yo, we got Hank the Hillbilly up there in Canada dropping it like it's hot. Appreciate the dollar, my man. I forgot that my shit is cranked now. Good thing I didn't do the blowhorn or whatever. Don DeMarco, because that shit would have been fucking super loud. Yeah, I forget that when I have this thing cranked, it also brings up my audio shit. So, anyways, Hank, appreciate the $1, my man. Thank you for that. Great to see you.
With more income and wealth inequality than we have ever had in the history of our country. This election takes place at a time when the wealthiest people in America have never, ever had it so good, while 60% of people in our country are living paycheck to paycheck, struggling to pay their rent or mortgage, struggling to afford child.
Okay, what does this have to do with anything? This has nothing to do with nothing. You're just talking to talk. You know, you're saying words and shit.
Childcare or higher education for their kids, struggling to afford health care, struggling to afford decent quality food, struggling how to figure out how they will retire with some shred of dignity after working their entire lives. This election takes place when the United States of America, the wealthiest country in the history of the world, has one of the highest rates.
What's up, Frederick Frame? Good morning to you. Great to see you.
Of childhood poverty and senior poverty of almost any nation.
His rhetoric is so bogus, bro. It's hard listening to these fucks.
And when in this rich country, 800,000 Americans, including many veterans, are homeless. This election takes place at a time when we have a president who has given $1 trillion in tax breaks to the top 1%.
Dude, he has been fucking going on this shit forever. And it's not just with Trump. He's been saying giving tax breaks to the millionaires for the first 35 years of Congress. And now, in the most recent time, now it's changed to, you know, giving tax breaks to the billionaires. Soon it'll be the trillionaires. You know, like, dude, come on, bro. This guy sucks.
Has given $900 billion in tax breaks to the largest corporations in our country. And to pay for those tax breaks, he is throwing 15 million Americans off the health care they have by slashing Medicaid. And in addition, he is forcing over 20 million Americans to see a doubling in their health care premiums. This election is taking place when we have an administration in Washington which every day is moving us toward an authoritarian society, undermining our Constitution and the rule of law. This election is taking place when we have a corrupt campaign finance system which allows billionaires.
Okay, so it's the same fucking rhetoric. There's nothing new here. There's nothing. I can't believe people fall for this shit. And they're actually like, yeah. I just said the fucking retards.
Oh shit!
Just saying. It's hard for me to listen to that shit. And especially me just watching it and then trying to shut up. That's really hard because I bite my tongue like 90% of that thing. Anyways, let's go move on to Japan's emperor greets President Trump this morning, 5 hours ago. And this is just their meeting in face-to-face in person. And then we actually have Trump that is on, I think, Air Force One talking to the press afterwards. Rolling in. Shit. Here he comes out. Shit. What up, Cup? That's exactly my... As he comes out, throws his hands out. What up, Cup? Shit. I'm here. Shit. All right, so that's what happened just 5 hours ago. And then we have the update from, I guess, Air Force One this morning. And here it is.
How you doing, Mr. President? Bumpy weather, way up in the air, a little bit bumpy. Here.
Fix the audio, please.
What's the word? Do you have any questions? Sir, could you tell us a little bit about
Where's the audio engineer?
how the meeting went yesterday? Very good. We had a good meeting. We'll see what happens. I don't know if anything's going to happen, but we'll see. They'd like to do a deal. We'll see. Right now they're paying, I guess, 50% tariff. But we had a great meeting. It's happy birthday. I want to wish the president happy birthday. Okay? It's his birthday today.
Dude, Glare, he's a tall motherfucker. He's like taller than you, and you are a fucking monster, dude. Like, yeah, you guys are fucking some tall motherfuckers.
You know that? He's a very vigorous guy, actually, and I was very impressed. But today's his birthday, so happy birthday. All right, would you let him know, please?
Especially in Air Force One, crazy mama.
He's right here.
The post said.
Where is he? He's right here, the handsome guy behind him.
Mr. Secretary, you said you're near a framework.
He's in right over here. Wait, let me just...
Yeah, we can't even hear what the reporter's asking. Just so you know, I can't hear it either.
Give him a little room. He's doing a good job. No, get over here. We also have Mark.
Get over here. Give us a little room, he said. He just forces his way.
So we had a very good meeting, Jameson and myself, with our counterpart, the Vice Premier, and we have a framework for President Trump, President Xi to decide on, and we discussed a wide range of things.
So the Secretary's speaking up back behind him.
Tariffs, trade, fentanyl, substantial purchase of U.S. agricultural products.
And rare earths.
And rare earths.
But nothing has been agreed to yet. We feel good. I mean, we feel good. I feel better that this guy's got nice broad shoulders. If the plane makes a big turn or something, I'm grabbing his shoulder.
Please do.
You know what? I want you to stay over here. Marco, where are you? Come on over here. Come on over here. I think you have some more room.
Yeah, he probably gets them from big and tall or whatever, you know what I mean? Not really. You know him. He probably just has this made special for him. He's got an exact length that he has, that he wants, and then he has that custom made. I guarantee that shit.
I got a good team. This is the greatest team ever assembled. Do you know that if I weren't elected president, in my opinion, every automobile company in the United States would be either bankrupt or very close to it, and instead they're hitting record highs. Their stock is through the roof. You saw Ford and you saw General Motors yesterday go up big. It's all because of tariffs. If it weren't tariffs, it'd be just like it's been for the last 30 years, where we lost about 52% of our automobile manufacturing business. In my opinion, whether it be now or very shortly, if it weren't for what I've done as president, every automobile company in America would be bankrupt. Instead, they're doing phenomenal business. That's all because of tariffs. All right.
On the flight yesterday, you sent out your Truth Social about the Canada tariffs. Can you walk through when you expect those to take effect? And can I ask why?
No, we're gonna let them know. Ronald Reagan loved tariffs. He used them sparingly, which he probably would make a mistake. He made a mistake in that. And again, I was the biggest fan of Ronald Reagan, but on finance, on trade, it wasn't his strong suit. But he liked tariffs, and they totally changed that to say that he didn't, because they're catering to the Supreme Court. Because Canada's been ripping us off for a long time, and they're not going to rip us off anymore. Canada has been...
Well, Canada wasn't the only one that was ripping us off. I mean, we had a lot of fucked up trade deals. We had a lot of things going against us, and then not only trade deals, but then tariffs on top of it that the rest of the world was using against us, and we weren't doing shit about it. And Trump was right in that regard, but he definitely uses it as a strategy on a geopolitical level further than just protecting the United States. I definitely think he uses it as a big negotiation tool around the world, especially with warfare.
Ripping us off for a long time. One of the most difficult countries to deal with has been Canada. As much as I love Canada itself and the people of Canada, they've just had a lot of bad representatives. They did a fake ad yesterday. They were caught. The Ronald Reagan Foundation was the one that caught them.
Correct,
was
crazy
totally
mama.
The opposite
Yes.
of what they said. So I don't like that. That's dirty pool, and you can't do that. And let me just tell you, they shouldn't have done it. And they've apologized, and they said, we're going to take the end down. Well, they did it, but they did it very late. They let it play for another 2 nights, and now they took that end down. So I don't know when it's going to kick in. We'll see, but I don't really want to discuss it. Let's go.
He said, let's go. I don't want to talk about that shit.
Because whether it's provincial or Canada itself, they all knew exactly what the ad was. Prime Minister knew. Everybody knew. The Prime Minister knew what the end was before it went on.
Will you see him in APEC? Do you want to meet with him?
I don't want to meet with him. No, I'm not going to be meeting with him for a while. No, I'm very happy with the deal we have right now with Canada. We're going to let it ride.
Well, we have Secretary Bennett.
Let the deal ride with Canada, he said.
Candidates for a new chair.
Yeah, we're down to 5. We're obviously traveling a lot now. We're going to continue. We're going to do a second round, and we hope to present a good slate to the president right after Thanksgiving. It'll ultimately be his choice. I think he's got some very strong
I'm thinking about
ideas.
him. What do you think? I'm thinking about Marco. I'm thinking about James.
Hey, Marco. Fucking Don DeMarco, homie. Shit.
Don DeMarco.
Thinking about a lot of people.
I think Stephen Miller.
We do have a lot. Stephen Miller. How about Stephen Miller? We have a lot of candidates that want the job. I think it's the world's easiest job, but to get it right, you have to be very smart. And we have a person that's not at all smart right now. Unfortunately, he should have been much lower, much sooner. That's why we call him Jerome Too Late Powell.
Russia said this week that they tested a new missile.
Well, crazy mama, this is exactly why I've always held the stance of not America first, but America only. And I mean, our money, our currency stays here for Americans. You know what I mean? Everything is for the self-interest of Americans, right? America only.
More than 8,000 miles. Is that saber-rattling for you? What is that?
They know we have a nuclear submarine, the greatest in the world, right off their shore. So, I mean, it doesn't have to go 8,000 miles. They're not playing games with us. We're not playing games with them either. We test missiles all the time, but, you know, we do have a submarine, a nuclear submarine. We don't need to go 8,000 miles. And I don't think it's an appropriate thing for Putin to be saying either, by the way. He ought to get the war ended. A war that should have taken 1 week is now in its soon 4th year. That's what he ought to do instead of testing missiles.
Mr. President, should the EU use frozen Russian assets to help pay for defense of Ukraine?
I don't know. That's you have to ask EU. I'm not involved in that. That's up to EU.
Are you considering
Yeah, I read it first. And I was like, good bot. And I'm like, oh, wait. I know he meant to say boy.
additional sanctions against Russia?
You'll find out.
So, Mr. President, shipbuilding has been a big part of your trade deals with both South Korea and Japan. Why is it so important to increase our shipbuilding to counter China?
Well, pretty obvious answer to that, because we want
Yeah, are you kidding me? Why? What kind of question is that?
more ships. We're going to be back in the shipbuilding industry. We have a lot of companies.
Okay, I really don't care about that.
Here for now. We're going to just announce great friendship. I look forward to meeting the new prime minister. I hear phenomenal things. She was a great ally and friend
Of France, right? Is that what they're talking about?
of Shinzo Abe, who was my friend, a former.
Or Italy or some shit? I forget what it is.
And he was great. He was one of my best. He was one of the best. And the group, he was one of the best, really best. And I know they were very close. And I think philosophically they were close, which is good. It's going to be very good. That really helps Japan and the United States. I think she's going to be great.
Which CEOs are going to come to your dinner?
Oh, for Japan. That's who they're talking about.
Say what companies.
I'd rather not say. You'll see tomorrow.
Are you planning to sign the final deal on TikTok on Thursday?
We might. That'll be one of the things we're discussing. Somebody reported it's been approved recently. I mean, we got an original approval from President Xi. I expect we'll have an approval, but I'd rather wait till a couple of days to let you know.
Is it part of the grand deal coming?
No, but it's something we're going to talk about.
Current 25% tariffs on China. Is the understanding from both countries that will remain regardless of...
No, I don't want to tell you what the understanding is, because what we understood yesterday or 2 days ago or even today is not going to be necessarily what it's going to be in 2 days. I mean, we're going
Which is true. You definitely don't want to throw out all your cards on the table before the play's even been played. And I do agree with that. All right, we'll hear a little bit more here, and then we'll move on into Newark flights delayed amid the government shutdown. Let me see on the source side if we have any updates, which we do. We do have an update from House Republicans on day 27 of the shutdown. So let's actually go ahead and pretty much get right into it, because we're already stretching ourselves. So let's go ahead and bring up House Republicans first, because this is more important than the flight delays over in Newark. I think that's standard operation over there. It's nothing new. Probably just going to be used as an excuse, to be honest, like Blair said.
Good morning, everyone. We're now on day 27 of the Democrat shutdown, and we want to review with you a few pertinent facts and explain a little bit about some of the really painful things that are going on around the country. We're delighted to be joined by our dear friend, Kelly Loeffler, former U.S. Senator and now the leader of the U.S. Small Business Administration, and she can speak specifically to some of the great hardships that are being felt by the people who provide jobs now around this country. Day 27 means it's almost been a full month since the Democrats shut down the government. And as we near the end of this month, the pain being felt by so many hardworking people around this country is very real, and it gets worse with each passing day. Here's some of the stats. Last week, 1.4 million federal workers missed a full paycheck. Now, you know, many of them are furloughed, and many more are deemed essential workers, those who are essential.
Damn, 1.4 million on the first check.
For example, to keep the country safe. TSA agents we've discussed, and air traffic control.
It's only going to get worse and worse, and more and more people are going to be affected.
There's a border patrol, and of course our troops.
This could get really fucked.
But so many of them now are going without pay. The families of military service members and air traffic controllers and so many of these others are now at very real risk of missing the paycheck at the end of this month. The Trump administration has done everything possible to bend over backwards to try to find sources of funding within the federal government to be able to cover the bases, but it is getting more and more challenging with each.
The Republicans are not going to cave to a $1.5 trillion deal for the Democrats. This is not going to happen. Funding for the Democrats is not going to happen, especially on a $1.5 trillion level. But this can be really bad, because I really do see a bad stalemate between the left and the right on this. Usually there's some sort of budge that happens and it can be kind of persuade. But I really see a hard stalemate going on between the left and the right. And this can get really fucked really quick. Real quick, we got Papa Penguin saying, "Morning, y'all. Great to see you in the chat. Hopefully you're enjoying your Monday morning." I definitely know that we are, as best as we can, of course.
Now, every Republican in Congress wants to stop this madness desperately. And we have voted many times, over a dozen times, collectively 13 times, to reopen the government, to keep it open and reopen it once the Democrats closed it. But here's the very simple and important fact that no one should forget. We have no ability. Republicans do not have the ability to do this on our own. It's a simple math problem. We need Democrats to help. You need 60 votes in the Senate. We only have 53 Republicans. The Democrats are the ones voting repeatedly to shut down the government. But they're not opening it back up. They spent most of their time trying to distract the American people from the very simple truth. So we brought you a little visual aid here to just remind everybody what the simple facts are. 4 simple facts here. The Democrats are required to open the government. They keep saying Republicans are in charge of government. We aren't, not in the Senate. 60 votes control the Senate, not a bare majority. And so point number 1, Democrat votes are required to open the government. Point number 2, they refuse to do it. They have now voted 12 times to keep the government.
You know, here's what I look at it is, yeah, you know, people go, well, maybe we should do a lockout instead of a shutdown and just fuck them out, you know, out of a job and just say lock them out. I do understand that theory, but there's going to be so many people, millions of people that are going to be affected by this, that I don't think that ultimately this is going to be a good decision to do something like that. I think that there's going to be too many people involved. There's a huge reliance system on federal aid for food, medical, all this kind of shit. And now, unfortunately, the government has put themselves in a position where the United States citizen, the average, is relying on the government. That's not good. And we're even talking federal employees, all these people that are employed. Even my sister, she's a doctorate as a vet. Like she works on a super high level for the state here. And for an example, she's going to run, and she has nothing to do with any type of politics or anything like that. There's so many people that are federally employed that are going to be fucked. And it's not just her that I look at. I look at all these people from all different types of the government, right? I think that, unfortunately, having millions and millions and millions and millions, even tens of millions of jobs in the federal government, having a shutdown at the end of the day is not the best decision.
Closed, and they'll
or a
have another
lockout
chance, today or tomorrow, maybe multiple times this week, and we'll see what they do.
What's up, Agrilla
Now,
Biz?
the
Good
third
morning.
point is very important because they've been trying to confuse the American people. They've tried to say this is a fight about healthcare or this or that or any other thing, and it's very simple. They put this on paper. They made this their demand in writing in the record of the Senate, and it has not changed. These are just 4 subpoints there under fact number 3. But there's many more. But among the things they're demanding, this is what the Democrats in the Senate are demanding to reopen the government. They want to give $200 billion in health benefits to illegal aliens and non-citizens, paid for by U.S. taxpayers. That is in their proposal.
Well, look at this, crazy mama. As you said right here, some people take advantage of the government help and those are the ones I don't feel sorry for. And I absolutely 1000% agree with this. Look, I even have this to show you. Wait, not this one. This one right here. This is SNAP, Food and Nutrition Service, U.S. Department of Agriculture. This came out October 10th of 2025. Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, which is SNAP benefit, and Administrative Expense Update for November of 2025. As stated in our lapse of appropriation correspondence dated October 1st, 2025, SNAP has funding available for benefits and operations through the month of October. However, if the current lapse is in appropriations continue, there will be insufficient funds to pay full November SNAP benefits for approximately 42 million individuals across the fucking nation, dude. That is so many goddamn fucking people. That is insane that there is this many people that rely. 42 million people. And this is just talking about November. What about December? What about fucking January? You know what I mean? Like, holy shit, this is a big ordeal right here. And this is why you see a lot of the left having the rhetoric they do, is because of shit like this. Well, it's like, well, you guys are voting to shut this shit down. Where do you think the funding is going to come from? You assholes. You guys are stopping the funding, so you're doing it to your own people, actually.
They want billions in wasteful programs to be returned to foreign countries. So we stop these things. They want to turn it all back on. They're demanding.
That's right, Papa D. Great to see you, by the way.
To get the government open for hardworking Americans again. They want to give $500 million to left-leaning news.
Yeah, it's basically EBT without the money part, okay? So there's SNAP benefits, and then there's benefits where you get, like, full funding as well, like money and food. But they're specifically talking about SNAP, what I just read.
Organizations,
which is the
and they
food
would
part.
cut $50 billion from rural hospitals. We will not do those things. And they know that very well. Which leads us to point number 4. The Democrats have now openly admitted, and you all had to cover it last week, that they're using the pain of the American people as their leverage. That was the number 2 ranked Democrat in the House, the Democrat, the minority whip, who said that, acknowledged it in an interview, that this is leverage. And Chuck Schumer himself boasted that every day of the shutdown gets better for us. That's his now infamous quote that he wishes he had not said out loud. But you know what they're doing and why. Why are they demanding these things? Why is point number 3 so essential to them? Why would they do this? Because it's unprecedented, as we've noticed, and reminded you all. They voted for CRs every time it was possible in their lives, as recently as March of this year. But they're doing it to appease their far-left Marxist base. That's the headline. That's why. That's why we're all in this mess. That's why the American people are suffering pain, because the Democrats are more afraid of the Marxist in their base than they are of hardworking Americans. See, they've made an evaluation.
Here, we got to do the money part for sure. We just got to get it over with.
All right, just get the money part done.
Give me money. Money me. Money now. Me a money needing a lot now.
Facts. Okay. Now that that's out of the way.
Denied. That they have to appease the Marxist base. That they're so concerned that they'll lose their jobs if they don't appease the far left in their party. And they sat in a back room and they made the calculation that they would rather shut the government down and impose all this pain on the American people because they believe the Marxists, the far left in the base, are more active than hardworking Americans, people who go vote. And so they made the calculation that it's worth it to them. Every day gets better for us. We'll use the pain as leverage. For what? To prove to the far left base that they won't give in, that they'll fight Trump and fight the Republicans.
To ultimately get their $1.5 trillion. Because, listen, the Republicans passed the big, beautiful bill on party lines. That was their legal way of doing that. So now, the left wants the same demand of funding, $1.5 trillion. Okay? And in the grand scheme of things, at the end of the day, if it worked, it worked. That's the way they look at it. So they're like super committed in their whole thing. This is where the public, their own constituents, need to influence their own people. Like, if you're employed by the federal government and you believe in these fucking leftist policies, and then all of a sudden you're not getting your money, now all of a sudden you're going to go to your congresswoman or whatever the case is, or man, whatever, and you'll go to them and be like, hey, listen, this is great and all. I was fighting this hard fight, but guess what? I'm not getting paid anymore, and now I'm starting to lose support for you. That's what needs to happen, is their constituents need to give them the pressure That's ultimately what needs to happen. These press conferences are great and all for the information for people to understand what's happening. But the grand scale of things is when people start losing their money, that's when you're going to see pressure on their own side. And it's just starting right now. So real quick, we got Joseph up there in Canada, our favorite snow Mexican. Great to see him in the chat saying, good morning, Mr. Ball, Lucy, Breakfast Crew, Bob, and can't forget the haters. Stop the cap.
Stop the cap.
Yes, sir. Great to see you in the chat, bro.
What are they fighting? It's a clean CR. It's the same level of funding that they have voted for as recently as earlier this year. They are Biden-level policies and spending. This is not some Republican wish list. We don't have any of our priorities in this at all. It's the Democrats' own product. But they have decided to flip the script this time because they were getting too much heat from the far left. The facts are so simple. And I'll give you Exhibit B as to why this is so true. On Friday, there was a little bit of a seismic shift in politics. All of you noticed it over the weekend. We saw our clearest sign yet that this radical insurgent movement in the Democrat Party is succeeding. And they are ending what has always been known as the Democrat Party in America. After a month's long...
What's up, Extra Surprise? And yes, sir, Papa D, always appreciate you, kind sir. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your day as well,
pressure
bro.
campaign from the far left.
Everything's going well here.
Hakeem Jeffries finally relented. He gave in, and he gave his endorsement to the socialist running to be mayor of New York City. The House Democrats have chosen a side. They were forced to by that far left that they're so terrified of, and they've shown the world what they really believe. There is no longer a place for centrists and moderates in their party. The candidate that they have endorsed, Mamdani.
No, they have gone radically left, and the entire party has moved radically left.
Is somebody who we've talked about a lot from this podium. He sympathized with Hamas and openly embraced anti-Semitic language. He has called to, quote, seize the means of production because...
Now, this is the guy that we were just talking about over there in New York, what they were having that big rally for and all this shit as well. Yeah, this is the guy they're talking about.
He is
right
a
here.
Marxist. He's called to abolish our borders, to abolish and end immigration enforcement, to defund the police, and to legalize prostitution, among a long list of hits that I could share with you. Zoran Mamdani is expected to take the helm of one of the most important cities in the world and the largest city in America. And he now has the full blessing of the Democrat leader in the House of Representatives. It is shocking. And that leader and all the other Democrats are going to co-own the consequences of what they do to America's largest city. Every reporter in this room should be asking every House Democrat individually whether they too agree with Hakeem's endorsement of the Marxist agenda. It's an extraordinary moment in the history of American politics, as this is not the kind of history that we need to be making. What we're witnessing is truly the end of the Democratic Party as we've known it. And even some Democrats are now saying that out loud. You can see it in their interviews. I watched one last night. All this is directly related to the Democrats' shutdown show. Why?
Join the Discord, everybody.
Because just like they decided to save their own skin, that they had to endorse the Marxist Mamdani in an unprecedented move, they have also decided they had to shut down the government in an unprecedented move. No matter the pain it inflicts upon hardworking American people, they are simply more afraid of the Marxists in their party than they are of voters. For the sake of our country, we pray that their calculation is wrong. We believe it is dead wrong. And as much as they try to obscure it, as much as they try to distract you, as much as they try to say that it's about any other issue under the sun, all those issues were always scheduled to be decided. Healthcare, the expiring Obamacare subsidies, the NDAA, the appropriations, all these other things, it was always on the calendar for Republicans and Democrats to hash it out in October, November, and December. This is not a surprise to Republicans. It's not a surprise to Democrats, and they all know it. That is the only thing they could grasp onto to try to give some sort of argument, to try to give cover for the fact that they're running from the far left base of their party. Facts are facts.
I do agree with that. And there's really not going to be much more to say on this. I mean, that's really, at the end of the day, what it is. Let's go ahead and hear what the first person that they brought up today, because they do bring in different people each day to speak, specifically behind, Mike Johnson. And let's see who this is.
Kelly, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Speaker.
Actually, I want to hear the announcement.
What small businesses are experiencing firsthand, we are really delighted to join and welcoming this morning the administrator of the U.S. Small Business Administration, Kelly Loeffler. Kelly, thanks for being here.
Small Business Administration.
Thank you, Speaker. Thank you so much. Good morning. Thanks for being here. Well, thank you, Speaker Johnson, and the leadership gathered here. And I want to start out by thanking you all on behalf of America's 36 million small businesses for passing a clean funding bill to keep the government open, and for passing the largest working family tax cut in American history, saving taxpayers a $4 trillion tax hike that Senate...
God damn.
Democrats voted for, congressional Democrats supported. Now, that tax cut is a big reason why we've seen a historic comeback for our nation's economy under the leadership of President Trump and congressional Republicans. Prior to the Democrat shutdown, the data was very clear. Small business optimism was at 7-year highs. Wage growth was outpacing inflation for the first time in 4 years. GDP growth was 3.8%. Deregulation, energy dominance, and fair trade were finally back. For the first time in years, America's small businesses felt the wind in their sails. They were taking on new capital to hire, expand, and invest. Now, that confidence manifested itself at the SBA through a historic demand for capital exceeding $100 billion.
Oh, trust me, I have every single fucking one of my Discords, even my own Discord server, muted. If I didn't, all I would hear is that motherfucker, and I would get sent alerts all nonstop. I wouldn't be able to even do a show. Yeah, no, I can't have, I have Discord running in the background on my computer, and if I have ding, 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 ding on the stream, you guys can hear that. Like, you guys can hear when other streamers have Discord bugging in the background, and it's like, God, that is fucking annoying.
Dollars for the first time in the agency's 72-year history under President Trump's leadership. That includes $45 billion, a record $45 billion in SBA loans to 85,000 small businesses in fiscal 2025, the most ever approved by this agency, thanks to confidence in the Trump economy. But today, 27 days later, as the Speaker said, Senate Democrats have intentionally put that momentum at risk. The SBA's loan guarantee programs have been halted, and Main Street's capital has been choked off because Senate Democrats are playing politics with lives and livelihoods. They're demanding $1.5 trillion in taxpayer money to fund health care for illegal aliens and other liberal causes. Their spin is fact-free. They want to subsidize their broken, fraudulent, and unaffordable health care system, where premiums have increased by 80% since 2014, and those are the enormous costs that are borne on the shoulders of small businesses. But the pain is the point. Every single day of this shutdown has stopped 320 local businesses every single day from accessing $170 million in SBA loans for hiring and for expansion. Now, in Chuck Schumer's own state, that is $40 million every single week. In my home state of Georgia, Senator Ossoff and Senator Warnock shutting down $35 million in Main Street capital every single week. So on day 27, all of that adds up to 6,000 small business loans that have been prevented from receiving upwards of $4 billion in Main Street.
God damn, just in this short amount of time has prevented $4 billion of fucking SBA loans.
Lending. And it's not just the flow of capital that it's been cut off, as the Speaker said. It's small businesses that rely on federal contracts. Thousands of them across the country have received stop work orders. Thousands more who rely on federal workers as their customers are seeing their revenue dry up. Here in Washington, of course.
What's up, Kel in Canada? Hopefully you're enjoying your Monday morning as well. Great to see you.
Around our military communities, around main streets across America. It's our storefronts that are cutting back hours, manufacturers that are shelving expansion plans, and generational businesses that are closing their doors for good. It's business that they will never get back. Thousands of painful stories like these are playing out, and that's what Democrats are talking about when they say they now have leverage. Now, America's small businesses make up 99% of all of our nation's businesses. They create 2 out of every 3 new jobs, and they make up about half of our GDP. So when the CEA estimates that every week of the Democrat shutdown, it shrinks the U.S. economy by $15 billion, that cost is borne by Main Street. When they estimate that Senate Democrat shutdown will cost our economy 43,000 jobs, those jobs are at local businesses. All because Senator Schumer and his caucus are willing to sacrifice Main Street so that they can derail President Trump's historic economic agenda.
So low-key, it is affecting small businesses and small business potential of potentially getting loans or funding. Damn.
And
I mean, they hire 2 out of 3 people, she just said, in the United States. Small business hires 2 out of 3 people. That's pretty incredible, actually. I didn't know it was that high.
The socialist radicals who are now in charge.
I would have said maybe 1 out of 3.
Of the Democrat Party. It's why I'm so proud to stand here with Speaker Johnson, Chairman Williams, and the entire House leadership team, because we are united behind Main Street, our military, and those who rely on critical federal services. It's time for Chuck Schumer to end the political stunt, pass a clean funding bill, open the government, stop putting illegal aliens and the Marxist socialist demands of your radical base over small businesses back home. We must bring the same common sense that prevails on Main Street back to Washington. I'll now turn it over to my good friend and chairman of the Small Business Committee.
No, we don't need to hear that. We got enough of the business talk, and we understand what's happening. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are over our time. I can't thank each and every single one of you guys enough for making these very shows happen. Make sure you guys stick around. We're going to be raiding our buddy Rob Knorr. Make sure you guys let him know we're coming through with the Mike Ball raid. You know what I mean? That's what we do. We show a little support. We got Grid One Motorsports in the building, by the way. Shout out to my man coming in at, at the very end. But, hey, we always appreciate you, kind sir. All right, stick around for the raid, and we will be back tomorrow morning for more of the World's Menace as we continue down our truth-seeking adventure. Always appreciate every single one of you guys and your contributions to the show, whether that be donations, hitting that like button, whether it even be in the very end here. I very much appreciate your engagement, leaving, comments and all of that shit. So thank you guys very much. We'll be back tomorrow morning for more, and until then, God bless everyone. We'll see you guys very soon.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart, steel, and a spirit unbroken, he rides on two wheels, ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow, he takes his stand, refusing to submit.